If you think a hotel's success is all about the price of a room, you're really only seeing the tip of the iceberg. True, sustainable profitability, well, that lies in everything else. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the art and science of forecasting all of that non-rooms revenue.
Hello and welcome, students of Europe Hotel School. My name is Kai, and as your AI guide, I'm here to help you navigate the really exciting complexities of modern hospitality management. Together, we're going to explore the data and strategies that are going to define your careers.
So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start by looking beyond the room rate. Then, we'll dive deep into forecasting for food and beverage and events. After that, we'll uncover the hidden value in ancillary services. And finally, and this is the big one, we'll tie it all together with the integrated forecast. That's the real key to unlocking a hotel's total profitability.
All right, first up, Section 1. Look, the room rate gets all the headlines, right? But honestly, it's just one piece of a much larger, much more interesting profitability puzzle.
So what are we really talking about when we say non-rooms revenue? Well, it's pretty much everything that happens outside the guest room. It's the energy in the lobby bar. It's the meticulous planning for a big conference. It's those moments of pure relaxation in the spa. It is every single dollar earned that doesn't come directly from a room key.
And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of the matter. See, a full hotel isn't always a profitable one. As the future leaders in this industry, your success is going to depend on maximizing the value of every single guest and every square meter of your property. These services, they aren't just extras. They are absolutely vital.
Okay, on to Section 2. Let's tackle one of the biggest and, let's be honest, most volatile departments, food and beverage. The real question is, how do you turn unpredictable guest appetites into predictable financial figures? What's so fascinating here is that F&B revenue is this amazing blend of internal and external forces. I mean, of course the number of guests in your hotel matters, but what about the local businesses looking for a great lunch spot? Or that huge citywide festival that brings thousands of people right past your front door? Understanding all these different drivers, that's the essential first step.
So the process is really a logical three-step build. First, you have to look back. You analyze your historical data. Then, you look at what's happening now and identify your demand drivers. But step 3, that's where the magic really happens. You have to connect an operational metric, like the number of diners you expect, directly to a financial figure. That is how you stop guessing and start forecasting.
Let's move on to our third section, events. Now this is a completely different beast. Forecasting for things like banquets and conferences, well, it requires a unique approach that balances what you know for sure with what you think might happen.
See, forecasting events is all about managing certainty. On one side, you've got your contracted business. These are the deals that are signed, sealed, and delivered. That's high confidence revenue. But on the other side, you've got your pipeline. And you can think of it just like a sales funnel. You have to assign a probability to each potential booking based on how likely you think it is to actually close.
And why is getting this right so critical? Well, just imagine forecasting a 500-person gala, but you only order food for 300. Or what if you hire a ton of banquet staff for a big conference that ends up getting canceled? An accurate event forecast isn't just about revenue. It's about preventing incredibly costly mistakes and running your operation as efficiently as possible.
All right, let's move on to our fourth topic. This is an area that's too often overlooked, but it holds just immense potential: ancillary services. I want you to think of these as your high-margin opportunities. The key concept to really grasp here is the massive profit margin. I mean, think about it. Once your spa is built and you have your staff, the extra cost of one more massage is minimal, right? It's just a little bit of oil and laundry. That means almost the entire price of that service goes straight to your bottom line. That is the power of ancillary services. So how in the world do you predict this? It all comes down to knowing your customer. Are they business travelers who are probably going to expense parking? Or are they leisure guests looking for a romantic spa package? You need to analyze your historical data to see what percentage of guests typically buy these services, and you have to constantly track how well your bundled offers are performing. It's all about understanding guest behavior.
And that brings us to our final and honestly most critical section. We've looked at all the individual pieces of the puzzle. Now it's time to put them all together into a single, powerful, integrated forecast.
To really understand why this integration is so important, we have to ask a simple question. What actually happens when these forecasts are all living in their own separate worlds, completely disconnected from each other? Well, the result is pure operational chaos. The restaurant gets completely overwhelmed because nobody told them a huge conference was checking in. The kitchen has way too much inventory because they thought it was a slow week. The front desk is trying to upsell a spa package that's already fully booked. It's not just inefficient, it is a recipe for a terrible guest experience.
So the single most important point of this entire session is right here. Your forecast for F&B, for events, for the spa, they simply cannot exist in a vacuum. They have to be built upon and perfectly aligned with your room's forecast. That's the only way to ensure total operational and financial consistency.
It really is that simple. When every single department, from the front desk to the kitchen to the spa, is aligned and working from the exact same integrated forecast, profitability isn't just a goal, it becomes the natural result of a well-run operation.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You now have the framework to see the bigger financial picture. The real question is, how will you be the leader who breaks down those departmental silos, who champions this integrated strategy, and who ultimately unlocks the true financial potential of your property?